Bitcoin and Litecoin, is our parabolic bull run going to continue? Well, we're going to talk about that. What's up, guys? Crypto Savvy here. Hope everybody's having a fabulous Thursday, and I want to wish everyone a happy 4th of July. We're going to take a look at the charts, starting out with Litecoin, moving on to Bitcoin. We're going to look at some targets. I'm going to show you the key areas I'm looking at, and then at the end of the video, stick around. We're going to take a look at the Bitcoin daily chart versus the gold weekly chart, see where we're at on that, and show you why I still believe we're on the path to 46,000 by the end of the year. So definitely stick around to check that out. Also, don't forget to go in the description box below the video. There's a absolutely 100% free Discord group in there where it is the best community in crypto. Definitely check it out. Awesome group of people. Everybody's learning the chart in there, helping each other out. We've been doing extremely well with our calls in there, so definitely check it out. Also, in that description box below the video, there is my affiliate links in there. Check them out. It does help the channel out, guys. If you use those links, you don't have to, but like I said, it does help the channel out. Anyways, let's get into the video and see what's going on. Alright guys, as always, I want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion and my view on the market only. Anyone that's doing any trading or investing in this market, I suggest you do your own due diligence and your own research, as this market is extremely volatile and risky. Also, keep in mind, it's still a speculative market. Don't put in more than you're willing to lose. And with that being said, if you're new here or you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button on the lower right hand side of the screen. That'll get you subscribed to the channel. Tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos, as I do post every day. I try to keep everybody updated to what's going on as changes occur in the market. So definitely don't forget to hit the little bell. Also, if you guys could, please take a second out and smash those likes, leave a comment, let me know what you think of the video. All right, guys, so let's begin. All right, Litecoin. I know people are losing faith in Litecoin. I am not losing faith at all in Litecoin, and we'll talk about it here in a minute. But we've been looking at this as a cup and a handle, and our neckline being around the 96, and the target has been and still is 180 for that move. Now, that's not to say we stop there. I do believe we go much higher. And we're going to take a look at some other targets. Let me zoom in a little bit. But we had been looking at this as a rising broadening wedge. And if we were to break before the 180 range, somewhere in the 160 or whatever, then my target is 275-ish. And that would be around, if we did hit it. Again, guys, that's not saying we go straight up. I do have this trend line here that I think we'll be using as resistance on the way up. I could be wrong, but I do have it there as a guide. And that would be around the beginning to middle of September if we were to go to that target. My next target is if we continue in this area up to our 180, which would be the top of the rising broadening wedge. And if we broke out there, and if we followed this to go up to there, that would be around the end of July when we hit the 180. And if we broke out from there, we'd be looking at the 300 range, and that would probably be somewhere in end of September, beginning of October. That's not to say we stop there, guys. I do believe, like I said, my target for Bitcoin at the end of the year is 46 to 47,000. And if that target hits, Litecoin's going to be more in the area of 600 to 1,000, somewhere in there. And the closer it gets, the more data we get, the closer we'll be able to judge the price on that. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I do believe we are on our way there, guys. Excuse me. So let's take a look at the RSI. It's the RSI on the daily. We were in this rising channel. We had got into a falling channel here, and we're going to take a look at this in the price action real quick and show you what I believe is possible. All right, so as you can see, we dropped out of this rising channel here. Let me zoom in a little bit, and fell into started this falling channel. As you can see, we are making, if we look at this peak here or this low here, and look at it here, and then look at this low over here and the low where we're at now. That's hidden bullish divergence, guys. I do believe we have more up to go, and I do believe this bottom trend line here is going to hold. But as of right now, I think if we move on up here, that 180 is probably going to be somewhere on the top of this falling wedge or up to this blue line, but we'll have to watch that and watch the RSI as it goes. So let's go into the 4-hour RSI, the more immediate, and see what that's looking like. All right, so in the 4-hour, as you can see, we've been in this falling channel, and we had a wedge over here, broke out of that, do a falling channel, another falling channel, another falling channel, and now we are currently in another falling channel. Now the question is, do we go down here to retest the bottom of this one, or retest the bottom of this and then continue up, or do we break through here and go up now? Well, let's look at the price action and see what that tells us. As you can see, we are right in that area now. Let's zoom in a little bit and look at the more immediate. We had been watching the bottom of this trend line, so this target here gets higher as we go along. So if we were to come down and test this now, I'm looking at around the 113 range to test the bottom of this channel, which is also the bottom of this rising broadening wedge here in the blue, which is inside the rising broadening wedge in the yellow. Now take a look. If we were to break down past there, this would be looking at this as a ABC correction. The measured move off of that would be down to that $100 range. The longer we stay in here, guys, the less and less likely I see that. I do believe this 113 is most likely going to hold, but we do have to be aware that it may break out of the bottom of this channel. And then worst case scenario, if the 100 doesn't hold, would be around the 86 range. And again, guys, this is the bearish scenario. I don't see this playing out, but I do want to take a look at it. If we go into the daily, that 86.20 range is going to be right around this 200 EMA. So like I said, it is possible. I don't think that's going to happen. Honestly, I don't think this blue line is going to break. I think the 113 will hold. If not, I have pretty big confidence in the $100 range holding, but like I said, I think the blue is going to hold, and I think we're probably just going to end up crawling our way up to this 180 range. That's my view on Litecoin right now, but I do want to show you these other targets here. This would be measuring this rising channel and a breakout of that. If we were to break out around the 180 range, my next target to hit the top of that, the white trend line here, would be around the 235. If we were to break out before, say around the 160 range, and we broke out, or 165, 217 would then be my target. So if you guys keep up on the videos and in the Discord, we'll be watching these trend lines to get our measured moves. Let's go into Bitcoin real quick. Now Bitcoin, I've added another target here. But let's look at what's going on here. We had this rising broadening wedge, which we broke out. We had a measured move of 96, which we got to and broke out. And then we had this rising channel. And I showed you guys in yesterday's video why I believe we are just going to continue this parabolic run. We zoom in here and look at this. We had a falling channel here with a breakout, rising channel with a breakout, another rising channel with another breakout. And as you see, these channels are getting more and more on an upward angle, and I believe we're probably going to form another one up here in this area and continue our parabolic bull run, guys, to my target of 46,000 by the end of the year. So I'm gonna zoom back out and look at these targets and show you how I got them. So obviously the 14,007 we looked at yesterday is the measured move of the breakout of this wedge, and I'm still looking at that 14,750 area. Now this next target up here, the 18,000, is if we were to break out here at that 14.7 area. If we're to continue up from there, the measured move of this channel here is around the 18.2 range. Then my next high target I'll show you is measuring this whole area as the rising channel, but we've only had one touch there, so that's not as confluent, but that would be the $20,000 range. Then if we took this here from the breakout and we use the bottom long-term trend line and the top white line, if we were to break from there, guys, then my target, and again, these targets change depending on where we break out of these trend lines, but my target there is 25,000, between 25,000 and 2550, somewhere in that area. And we're going to take a look at that here in a minute, but first we're going to look at the RSI. Also, this target means a lot when we look at the Bitcoin daily versus the gold weekly, so stick around to the end to watch it. Don't miss that at all. All right, don't forget to give a thumbs up, guys, and a comment at the end of the video. Let's look at the daily RSI. All right, so in the daily RSI, we had the rising channel here. We fell out of it in a falling channel, broke back up, and we had like a triple top in the RSI here, and we were watching that. This was our target. It hit 13.8. Our target on this channel, we were looking at 13.6. But anyways, you can see we broke out of this falling channel. We came back, tested for support. Now it looks like we're getting support. We could come down a little bit more, and we're going to take a look at the 4-hour RSI. Whoops. And see what that's telling us. All right, so the 4-hour RSI, we're looking at a rising broadening wedge here that we fell out of, and here we have a falling channel that we have broken out of. And in the price action, we're going to look at this and see what, if you guys were watching in the Discord yesterday, and this is another reason to join the Discord, we were watching this and kept, you know, I try to post charts in there as much as I can. Obviously, I'm not a day trader. I don't sit and stare at the computer all day. I do have a job, and so anyways, I do try to keep people informed. We had the EMAs all crossed here, which was extremely bullish. So we had this trend line drawn here, which we were bouncing around in here, creating this bull flag, and we were expecting to move up, which we got. And if you look at the price or the RSI, you can see where we broke in the RSI too. Now we could be, looks almost like a rising broadening wedge here, and we look like we might have a come back down and test this area somewhere between 11.3 and 11.4. But it is possible, guys, that we just continue up from here, and if we did a little quick measured move on that, we would be looking at, and this is just, you know, short term, but we'd be looking at around the 11.7, somewhere in there. But I am playing this for the longer swing, guys. I do believe we're going to continue up much higher. But anyways, yeah, just so you guys can see how that works with comparing the RSI with what's going on in the price action. All right, now let's go into the price action. We're going to take a look at the bearish scenario, as we always do, just to be safe. If we were to come down here, I deleted that target, but I'm going to put it back in there. Let's go right around here, around the 8,900. That's, I highly doubt that's happening, guys, really, but I do want to put it in there as a possibility. I do want to change that to orange though, because that is not an up target. Okay. So we talked about it before. If these trends were to break here, you know, then my measured move is down to here. And worst case scenario would be retesting the top of this rising broadening wedge that we broke out of back in May. And that would be around between, you know, 7,900 and 8,000. But again, guys, I do not see that happening, but we have to obviously take a look at it. Okay, so looking at the higher targets, which I do believe that we're headed towards. And don't forget, stick around. We're going to get into that Bitcoin versus gold charts and look at where we're at. It's pretty interesting, guys. All right, so let me get that out of there. We had the breakout of this falling wedge, and our measured move there is that 14.7 range, which I do believe definitely possible. I'm going to draw. Let me change this to white. I'm going to draw from these two peaks here and look at what we might be looking at. And makes sense to me. Let me know if it makes sense to you. I'm going to make this a little bit wider since we're concentrating on this. I'm going to clone this line. Oh, let's see. And this won't be exact. It all depends on if and when we hit our target of that 4,700 range, or 47,000, or shoot, 14,000. So let's look at that and see what that might be. As you remember, we were looking at these channels and they keep getting steeper and steeper, and this one would be very steep if that was to happen. No guarantees, guys. I'm just kind of pointing that out to you. I do also want to look at what's going on in the 4-hour RSI to compare to what's going on in the price action, what I believe is possible here. Things to look for. We draw a trend line across here. We could be looking at a bull flat or a head and shoulders pattern forming here. There's a couple ways this could form. If we look at it in the price action here, we could be coming down to this area, come back up and break through here, which would, let me draw the trend line in there to where we're at, which in the RSI would look something like this, you know, coming down here and then continuing up towards our target in this area. That's one possibility. The other is, let me get rid of this stuff. So I will keep that in the RSI though. Let me get rid of this and draw another possibility. So looking at this as the left shoulder head, right shoulder could possibly come down and test this area here, guys. Come up and continue up from there. But I am biased to continuing up from here. I am bullish here. I do believe this is going to happen, and it's more likely than our, you know, falling to our lower targets. But keep in mind, watch these trend lines. If this breaks, we're probably most likely headed down into the 89 range. And this target's right around the 10,650 to 10,700 range. I don't believe we're going to do that, guys. Like I said, I do believe we're going to continue up to this area. Just what we're watching right now. So let me get this off here now. All right, that's what I'm looking at there. Now let's look at the Bitcoin daily chart versus the gold weekly chart and my end of the year target, which is right here. Keep an eye on this yellow line. It's 46 to 47,000 by the end of the year, guys. I do believe it's happening. Take a real good look at this area right here and what's going on. And also keep an eye on this blue line. This is the trend line here from these 2 points of support in the old bear market, which we've broken through, broken up above, came back down under, and now we're back in it. Now let's take a look at the gold chart. Same area. We broke above it, broke down below it, and now we're back above it. Do we have another break below it like in here? That doesn't have to play out exact, guys, but a pattern is a pattern. And we've been following this on this channel since January, and everything's playing out beautifully. And after we look at this price action a little bit, we're going to look at the RSI and that we've also been looking at since January on this channel, and everything has been playing out beautifully. If you've been following this channel, I'm sure you've been doing very well in the market, especially when everybody gets all bearish, and we have not gotten scared through that because of this chart that is our guide to what's going on here. I do truly believe that. But as you can see, we'll zoom in a little closer to this area. Oops, I did want to show you guys real quick. Let's get that back over here. If we look at the trend lines that I've drawn up there and click back and forth, that shows you why I have the 47,000 as my target for the end of the year. It's not to say that's it, guys. We could go much higher. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. Like I said, I believe we're in this area right now in Bitcoin, just like it looked in gold there. Same exact pattern, guys. Now it looks like we could break up past that to our blue line, which in gold is well, it's right here in Bitcoin, around the 24 to 25,000. Now these probably aren't going to be exact, but we'll know better and we can move them when we get there. And I say when because I do believe we're headed there. But let's take a look at what Bitcoin should look like when this is all said and done, roughly. And we'll take a look at that now. What I'm looking at is a possibility of this coming up here, possibly coming back down and testing this. I doubt it, but we have to look at it. Actually, I just made that way too big. Let's look at it here. Here we go. So something like this, back down, possibly test this. I just don't see us going that low, but it's possible. You know, then back up here to where gold is, something like this. Like back and forth. As you can see, pretty close. I do believe this is definitely possible, guys. This correction here, though, I don't believe is going to be that low, honestly. We'll figure that out as we go along, but I'm looking at this retracement. If we blow through the all-time high and get up to the 25,000 range, looking at coming back down to test maybe as low as 16. But you know what, like I said, the further we go along, the easier it'll be to judge what's going to go on. So anyways, that's what I'm looking at, guys. Definitely a pattern, and we are following it just perfect. As you can see how gold bottomed out twice on this long-term trend line. Same with Bitcoin. We'll zoom in a little bit. Bottomed out twice before our big boom. So let's look at the RSI now real quick. We'll start with the weekly. And looking at the weekly, as you can see, I have two trend lines in here. This is the 2013 bull market, followed by the bear market. We had two touches of resistance on this trend line before breaking through and continuing on with the bull market. This is 2017 bull market, followed by the 18 bear market. Two touches of resistance before moving on with the bull market. Now let's look at the monthly. Monthly, I have these two arcs drawn in here. This is 2013 bull run, followed by the bear run, or bear market. Each one of these arrows represents a new low in the RSI, and we had 4 of them before our move up, which is our bull run. 2017 bear market or bull market, followed by the bear market. 4 arrows represent a new low in the RSI, and then boom. Only difference is, guys, I believe this one's going to be much quicker, much harder. This is going to be a great bull run, and I'm glad to be able to share it with you guys. So if you enjoyed the video, definitely consider subscribing by ticking the Crypto Savvy logo above my head. Also, don't forget to click the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Join our Discord, great community, guys. Links in the description below the video, along with my affiliate links. And smash those likes. Leave your comments, guys. Let me know what you think. Have a great day. Happy 4th. I will see you tomorrow.